to another episode of the Catch the Sky podcast. I believe this is probably going to be our shortest episode to date.
Lucky you guys.
Yeah, lucky you guys. You don't have to put up with us too long if you don't want to. I believe the content we discuss is pretty engaging, though. We discuss 4th of July and how some people were celebrating it this year.
In a racist way.
Yeah, and how some people turn the holiday into more of a campaign rally than a holiday about American independence. We also kind of discuss where I am in my journey so far.
Traveling the world.
Yeah, traveling across the world here. At least our little neck of the woods.
We follow up on our parking lot friends. We get back into conspiracy theories.
Definitely, yes. We start to hit on some more conspiracy theories. And this will be a good primer, I believe, for our conspiracy theory episode, which is going to be coming later down the pipeline.
Sure. We're building up. We're prepping for it.
Yes.
And where this conversation goes in this episode, we don't need roads.
That's fantastic. Yeah, that's great. So go ahead, enjoy, feel free to subscribe. And if you care to engage with us online about anything that we ever discuss, you may search for the Catch the Sky podcast on Facebook, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, pretty much anywhere that you can find podcasts these days, or CTS Terry on Twitter if you care to interact with us there. Thank you for listening, and we hope you enjoy.
There he is.
Hey, good morning.
What up, man?
Boy, I took one of those naps where you wake up and I'm just not functional whatsoever.
Maybe you've have
How
you gotten your results yet?
Yes, I'm negative.
All right. So we blew off this trip for nothing.
It was better safe than sorry.
Well, that's good.
Are we rolling?
Yeah.
What have you been up to?
Hanging around Spokane, Washington. I went to Lake Coeur d'Alene today, did all that. That was cool. Hiked some trails. Did the Mineral Ridge Trail.
Yes, Lake Coeur d'Alene.
There's a spot on that trail called the Johnny Mac Trail. I'm not sure if it's related to the actual tennis player, though. I hadn't gotten that far. I'm about 2 miles from a spot that they're going to be shooting off some fireworks, so I might even be able to catch them from here. I'm not sure.
Do we want to talk about what happened?
What, the other night?
Yeah.
Which part?
The lack of humanity.
Well, no, I think humanity came through in the end. I just think that they were a little off the wall. I think we ran into some oddballs.
You were out there with some nutcases.
Yeah, yeah, like literally.
They might become subscribers, and then us, and then here, then we're bagging on them after the fact. So,
yeah, whatever.
So one of my things that I've been doing is I'm teaching at public speaking class.
Yes.
And I asked my students to do a speech on a conspiracy theory. They have to go find a conspiracy theory, get into its origin story, and how it happened, what happened with the historical context, and then offer evidence one way or another for it being true or false, right?
This is the type of speech, I forget what it's called, that you're trying to convince people of something.
But yeah, it's an informative mix with a persuasive speech.
Yes,
persuasive. So we get a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And I got to tell you, there's some really crazy, stupid shit out there. And
what's some of the wildest stuff that you've heard? Did you look up zinc fingers yet?
I did not look up zinc finger, Agenda 21. I didn't look up any of this.
Neither did I. God, dude, we are horrible at doing our research in between episodes. That is one thing we need to work on. To be fair, though, I ordered some car parts today, so those will be waiting for me when I get home.
Waiting? Order? I thought you were going to go to a junkyard.
That's going to be for the sockets.
Okay.
My actual physical body needs some work, too. Well, Adina's body. My body is flawless.
You're going to stay in Spokane until you get all these parts?
Again, I reached out to the girl.
Yes. The woman?
Yes.
The woman.
The woman at large. And I'm just trying to get an idea if she's going to want to meet back up on the western side of Idaho and then loop through Oregon and then go through parts of California and then back up and take one car. But I don't think she can tolerate me that much. So I don't know what's going to happen. It's kind of rough. I think it'd be a nice adventure, but not everybody thinks the same. Plus, she's doing her own thing. I think she's doing this self-discovery thing, and I don't want to get too much in the way, but if you can take one car for, a day and a half journey, it's like a 35-hour loop or something like that. Like, why not just take one car? All right, so what are we getting into? What's on your mind?
Okay. Was 4th of July.
Yes.
Okay, I think we should declare that unequivocally.
Yes.
And Trump just made a racist speech out of South Dakota, doubled down on white supremacism.
I didn't catch anything, so fill me in.
So he's likening statues such as Mount Rushmore to Confederate statues. I think he just doubled down on American independence being related to the Civil War and all the great Americans that have fought. And so I think it's a battle for us because do we consider Confederate soldiers great Americans? And I think that is the crux of this all. I guess because the historical narrative is they stood on the side of slavery, we would naturally, at least it's always been to me that the North were the good guys and the South were the bad guys. That's how history has always been presented in that narrative.
Yeah.
For me. But it's our war. They're our bad guys, right? They're like, they're just doing their job, I think is how people want to frame it. They didn't mean any harm, but there were a lot of people who were harmed.
Yeah.
And have the potential to be harmed. So because people are upset, they're taking down statues that they've asked politely, because there's a process for this, and so the people in charge are usually trying to withhold it, whereas the people who want to make change, we're not seeking power, we just want to make change. And I think maybe sometimes that's where the left doesn't have their shit together. At least out here in Arizona, I can attest to this, because the conservative movement here in Arizona is much more organized. It's a well-oiled machine. Yeah. So now that they're just trying to throw down statues, he's doubling down on as far as punishment is concerned, or at least he's saying he's doubling down on punishment. A lot of what he says is just red meat.
Yeah. Dude, I cannot tell you how many Trump flags I saw flying around today. And I don't understand. I mean, it's not a freaking campaign day.
Yeah, it was he turned his speech into kind of a campaign rally. But he did it blatantly. He's a different type of orator in that regard. He's very good, though. He's able to change the national discussion in a flash.
Yeah, we discussed that before.
Well, he's good. He's good at it. He's good at jingling the bell. And everybody kind of Pavlov reacted to it.
Yeah, but that's not... Yeah, but... what are we going to do? I think that was the most honest question.
Discovery mode on our side, where these people are just kind of committed to Jesus, and that's their version of self-discovery, or some form of that. So, or they just believe in these crazy conspiracy theories, where it usually comes back to elites harvesting children.
Is this the Pizzagate thing?
This is your QAnon, Pizzagate,
Epstein. Let's go. Yeah, that's it's all going on, dude. They love it.
I don't even know what to do with your boy Epstein.
How long do you think it is before Maxwell kills herself?
The R&B artist?
No.
The friend that they just arrested.
Yes. My buddy, oh my God, his wall, he posts probably like a dozen things a day about it. Like he was posting over-unders, how's she going to kill herself, post an angry face if you think that the cameras will go missing, care thing if you think it'll be COVID.
This gets back to the conspiracy theory part. One of my students actually did this conspiracy theory, totally went in on, and Epstein didn't kill himself, okay, right? And his connection, he's got the black book, and it's connected to what I don't know, and there's people, he's got everybody's address in it.
Yeah.
Kind of exciting, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. So, depending on how this trip goes, if I end up having to do more of it alone, I'm going to try and find out tomorrow. I'll ask her tomorrow if she wants to meet up and do any of this together or not. I mean, maybe I'll meet up with her for a day or two.
You had said that your presence wasn't ideal. She was excited, but at the same time, she wasn't excited.
Yeah, her excitement wore quickly. She said it was just because she was traveling with another person, but I don't know if she was just saying that to go easy on me or if she was being honest, but we've been chatting and everything since then, so I have no reason to believe that she's being dishonest. Just gotta wait and see, I guess.
All right. How's our connection here, T?
It's fine. What are you doing now?
I'm in my car.
Jesus. Where are you going?
A friend of mine they're having people over, and it's probably going to be some fireworks. Not really fireworks, more just blowing shit up is what it usually amounts to.
Okay, that's fun.
It's just, they go nuts with the fireworks.
Yeah.
That's the other conspiracy theory out there right now. It's just there's lots of people blowing stuff up, and nobody's really sure why.
There's been tons of fireworks all over the place.
And has that been happening
every night in Erie?
Travels?
Every night in Erie.
Every night in Erie, okay. What about on your travels?
No, but I'm not usually staying anywhere like super populated.
Gotcha.
But in Erie, I see posts about it every single day.
And that it's the police trying to reaffirm themselves, or people, vigilantes trying to cover up gunshots?
I mean, those are all theory. I haven't seen any posts about that. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, that's anybody could be using that as a potential theory.
And I think with conspiracy theory, the simplest explanation always makes sense for me. Because every time you go down the rabbit hole with any of these conspiracy theories, the end result is there's some powerful group of elites trying to take over the world. And that's where I was going to be critical of our friends who you met in the parking lot.
Yeah.
That nobody's questioning capitalism in any of this.
Right.
And capitalism is a game of elitism.
Yeah.
It's an oligarchy.
Oh, absolutely.
There are people who are affluent beyond their means, and they want to continue to maintain and control and keep their power.
Mm-hmm.
Why would anybody give up any power?
That's why I think the whole political landscape right now is very dangerous and scary.
I just think it's more amplified because we have so many outlets for people to share. And then that's, of course, coupled with this bloody pandemic, which we're, I think, at 130,000 deaths now, which is just astonishing.
You know the numbers better than I, man.
Well, all lives really don't matter then in that regard because we just don't give a shit. And we're not willing to do anything, and then people are not taking any of this serious. I'm about to head to a Northwest enclave in Peoria, and quite honestly, these people don't believe in masks either.
Wonderful.
And I mean, I have a mask in my car. I'll be outdoors, but whether or not I wear a mask outdoors, I don't think I'll wear a mask outdoors.
I wear it around people.
Yeah. Were you wearing a mask in the parking lot the other night?
No. Probably should have. But I was also talking into the microphone, so.
Yeah, those guys would have freaked out if you put a mask on.
Oh, big time.
Were you actually outside of your car?
No.
Okay. I think this is the whole time you were in your car.
Yes. And I mean, I have myself defended, to a degree. I've got things to stab with, things to bludgeon with, and I've got Frank.
Right. So I want to get back to our two friends in the parking lot.
Yes, sir. What about them? Lead the way.
No, I was genuinely scared for you.
Yeah, why?
And so I'm cringing because you're arguing, and I'm like, oh my goodness, there's an argument ensuing here. This guy's upset at you, worst case scenario. But and the reality is that we really don't have anything to fear. A lot of this shit is just made up.
Yeah, like
people are generally reasonable.
Yeah, and we, I think, both proved that after the fact.
I've been in a multitude of fights.
See, and I haven't, like, outside of hockey and everything, I try to avoid physical confrontation like that.
But this also speaks to the larger conversation of, do people matter? And people are horrible. And I'm watching Back to the Future, and Emmett Brown is trying to, Doc Brown, he keeps trying to go back and fix things.
You know that Back to the Future is my favorite movie, right?
I had a feeling. I just wasn't sure, but it's on Netflix, leaving Netflix this month.
I have that on Blu-ray and DVD.
Of course you do.
Just like Space Jam. True fans have the physical copy, okay? I got it.
There's just so much. All he's trying to do is fix, you screwed up here, let's go back and fix that. You screwed up here, and this. If human beings weren't just so terrible, we wouldn't screw up, and we wouldn't have to go back and fix anything into the future. And also, that movie is just an advertising smorgasbord, and it's just awful in that regard.
Well, here's the deal, is, yes, if you look at just one Back to the Future, sure. But by the time they get to the third one, they explain that. They address your conundrum there.
In the Old West one?
Yeah. It's obviously the least popular of the three, but the very ending is actually like one of the most significant moments in the entire trilogy.
And so these are the things I'm not watching for as a kid.
So 2 has been regarded by Carl Sagan as the best depiction of time travel to date.
Okay.
Just because of like the tangent and everything that they go off on and all that, and how they follow the multiple little changes and everything that occur.
Okay.
But by the third one, the ending, when Doc shows, do you remember when he shows up in the frickin' time travel train?
I do not.
Remember they used the train to push the DeLorean up to 88?
Yes. Okay. I'll just say yes.
All right. So they used the train to push it up to 88, but they get to a bridge that hasn't been built yet. And then it's all dramatic, and the DeLorean goes through time like right before the end of the bridge, and then the train goes off the side, yada, yada. But in modern times, there's a track there, and that's where he ends up with the DeLorean. But like a modern day train shows up like shortly after he comes back and just completely runs over the DeLorean and destroys it. And then a few moments later, Doc shows up in a train like that travels through time. So it's like this old West like steam train, and then he's with his family and he's got kids. And then he explains that the future isn't written, and that we can just keep changing it every single day by making the decisions that we make.
There it is. Okay.
Yeah. There's all these different possibilities, and the one constant is that we have a choice to go down any one of those roads any given day.
Yeah, people are not thinking in that regard. Nobody's thinking about the future.
Yeah, so it's also interesting, though, maybe not a conspiracy theory, but the multiverse theory, or that there's multiple parallel universes, whatever you want to call it, or however you refer to it as, that kind of feeds into that, because every day, like, we have all these different decisions to make, and if time travel is possible in some regard, then that would open up the possibility for all these infinite paths, so to speak, to be taken. And that's where I start wondering if deja vu or something is connected somehow. Is that maybe where a path that we have in two separate universes kind of almost intersects? And that's why we know it's coming? Is because we're almost lining up for just a millisecond in time? I don't know. Just weird things to think about.
Yeah, how ironic though that even how we've intersected, you and I, because you and I are a couple of an unlikely pair. Is what we are.
Yeah, but I love it.
Right, and then so all these things intersect towards something larger.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because we're here. We're here. This is a pretty big intersection. It's rolling pretty well so far.
Well, just like why are you even crossing the country? Because of this intersection with this woman.
Yeah.
But I think the reason Ken brought you to Arizona was because he said you needed to get out of Erie.
Yes.
And now you double down on that, getting out. Speaking of getting out.
So I mean, there's proof right there. There's proof right there in the pudding that, it's not just me blindly chasing a woman and wanting to go on my own. I mean, I've wanted to leave for a long time. You know it.
Yes.
Ever since we met.
You've needed to get out, right? I think that you are a big fish in a small pond in Erie, Pennsylvania. Absolutely.
And right now I'm a rogue.
Do you have hand sanitizer with you on your trip?
Yeah. I got a little one in my bag that I bring with me on hikes and stuff. I've tried to start bringing, little things, Band-Aids and stuff like that, just in case I need them on the hike.
Yeah, you're taking care of yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm doing all right. Could use a shower. I think I've showered in 4 or 5 days, but it's all right.
When was the last time you had a shower?
Salt Lake City. So whatever day that was. Tuesday.
So and that was at a friend's house? Or you
no, hotel. Hotel.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to just keep trucking along. And
where did you sleep in Moab?
Willow Springs Road, I think it was called.
Oh, just off the road somewhere.
Yeah. In the tent. There was actually a pretty big storm the second night, but she slept right through it. I was impressed. I couldn't sleep.
All right. Well, I just arrived at my destination.
All right. Sounds good. You go ahead and enjoy your evening. Take care of the dogs.
We blew the neighborhood up. Nobody seemed to care.
Nobody seemed to notice. Nobody seemed to care.
It was an entertaining night. Deep down in my heart, I like blowing stuff up. I don't know what that is.
Now you know why nobody wants to give their guns up.
I guess I can concede on that point. And I don't believe anybody's asking them. That's another conspiracy theory.
Yes.
Nobody is coming to take your guns.
Right.
You troglodyte. The Supreme Court has affirmed your right. If you don't know how the Supreme Court works, go watch I'm Just a Bill.
I'm just a bill.
Schoolhouse Rock. Maybe learn how your fucking government works, you troglodyte. Can't take it. Troglodyte, Neanderthal.
Deplorable was a word that was used to get got some people in trouble.
Sure.
So thank you for tuning in again to this episode of the Catch the Sky podcast. As always, you may interact with us online by searching for the Catch the Sky podcast on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Facebook, anywhere that you pretty much get your podcasts. If you want to interact with us on Twitter, you may do so by searching for CTS Terry and shooting us a message there. We look forward to interacting with you, and as always, catch the sky.
Tip to be square.